What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Foureva Podcast. We live. What's going on, Ryan?
Not much. Just hanging out.
You act like you just randomly showed up and sat down.
Yeah. Nothing. No.
Jesus.
This isn't gonna go well tomorrow.
Welcome to another episode of the Foureva Podcast. And it's your boy, it's your host, Jamar Jones, and I'm with
Ryan Evans.
So Ryan is he's new here and he's, learning the ropes of what's going on, but he's bringing that knowledge of the game to everybody here. And so we're live right now at Summerfest Tech. It's absolutely incredible here. The energy, the people, the education, content, everything is so impactful. Really actually got to collaborate and connect with so many different people.
Yeah, definitely. There's been so many different people that have just come over and just chat about everyday life, essentially.
That's what we do. It's just life. Yeah, the event here is absolutely incredible. Summerfest Tech, great partners, great energy. Everybody here is just very personable, relatable, and it's easy to connect, with a lot of the companies here and even just the attendees. Yeah, people that are here. So it's awesome, man. We got this giant lion right here. And if you're listening, there's a giant lion with a crown that's gold. Just imagine that.
The crown.
Just imagine gold. It. The crown's gold. Yeah. But it's pretty epic. It's been it's been a topic point.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. People have been just coming by and rubbing it for good luck.
Like it's like a genie lamp.
Then they get 3 wishes then.
Yeah. The rule is you're not supposed to wish for more wishes. You can't do that.
Count, I don't think.
What would be your 3 wishes?
More wishes.
You can't do that. You literally can't do that.
Oh man, it's actually a tough one. You'd want to do it you'd want to do it good for humanity, obviously. You wouldn't
No, you do it for yourself.
You can't be selfish.
You do it for yourself.
Is this still the intro?
Yeah. This is gonna be the most free-flowing intro we've ever done.
Honestly, well, okay, so I guess if you had to do it for yourself, obviously you're gonna wish for infinite money. Yeah, never had to worry about anything ever.
Wow, infinite money.
Unless it has to be quantifiable.
What's infinite quantifiable?
Well, it isn't.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Superpowers.
Superpowers for sure. Superman level?
Yeah, that'd be cool just to fly, I think.
Yeah, just to fly. I do feel like I would want like a super windshield or something in front of my eyes.
So Iron Man.
Because bugs slap it in your face,
Yeah, that's actually Iron Man.
Like Superman never is covered in bugs when he lands.
That's a good point.
Why?
I don't know.
If he's going at light speed, you would just kill everything.
Yeah. Maybe that's just how fast he's going to where he just doesn't even feel the bugs. They don't even,
they disintegrate. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. So we're live at Summerfest Tech. And hey, we're doing the podcast live here because we wanted people to have that inviting, opening conversation really right here at the booth. Why wait to have those conversations? Let's just do it right here, right now.
Yep.
And it's been awesome. We've already had a couple guests. We'll have more. So everything that you're listening here from here on out is going to be some awesome guests, really talking about Milwaukee, talking about tech, talking about how do we get more attraction and talent to Milwaukee. And also, how do you just get involved in tech? What are some of the ways and what are some people's kind of quick bite-sized stories of how they even got into the role of where they're at today. So you're going to be able to take in that. This is definitely a loose intro. We're having fun here. This is good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to hear go back to the superheroes, their origin stories on how they got in, and even some of the people that we haven't talked to on the podcast, just everyone here has had a story of how they got in, whether it's, they went to school for it, or some people that didn't. And they just kind of found their way into this line of work. Is crazy.
It's kind of nuts. I've met a couple people that literally don't have degrees, and they're in a high position within a very large company, which is honestly pretty inspiring, I think, for anybody to just there's always ways to kind of navigate and get your foot in the door and add value, to people and be able to learn this stuff. And I think that tech in general has a lot of opportunities that are certification based than just straight up degree based.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dope. It's pretty good that, people can just learn and get themselves trained. And honestly, with YouTube University, anything's possible.
True. Second largest search engine.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah, you could learn a lot. So you're gonna hear some awesome stories. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and here's the first one. Hey, we're live at the event. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know what you got going on.
Sure. My name is Brian Sevener. I'm the CEO of Valor Technologies.
Yeah.
We are a managed security services provider here in Milwaukee. I'm also a college professor at a local college here.
Oh my God! So 10 years, Army, and also a college professor.
Yes. I don't know how I fell into
How did that happen?
I don't know, someone felt bad for me and then just said, "Hey, you want a job?" And I was like, "Sure."
You just kill it no matter wherever you go, man. It's amazing.
I work hard. I mean, I grew up as a farm boy.
Yeah.
And my dad was a very tech guy, and we were doing LAN games or LAN. Playing LAN oriented games long before the internet was kind of a thing. And, so I kind of grew up on the old Intel 386s, 486s, and tech has always been kind of a thing, despite being a farm boy. So working hard, being in tech, it's just kind of how I got my start in the world as a
That's amazing, man. That's absolutely incredible. And so what do you guys what makes you different? What do you guys specialize in within cyber?
Well, that term cyber is very broad. There's different areas in there. So we take a very military. Everything we do is very military grade, and I know other people who might be in the military hear that and they're going to kind of crack jokes about that. Totally cool. Where we focus heavily on is the prevention, but also the remediation when you are hit with a ransomware attack. We have a very robust infrastructure that allows, and because we've worked real closely with insurance companies. So what happens I think the best way to answer that question is when you come under attack, usually the first step is to get your insurance on board. They're going to want to work with a team that does remediation. And during that remediation, a lot of times they lock your infrastructure down. No more changes can occur. They isolate the threat. Sometimes that can put your business essentially on hold. Your cash registers aren't ringing. You aren't bringing money in. That's a big problem.
Huge.
What we do is we come in and we put together a plan that helps you bring up your infrastructure, sanitize the infrastructure separate from that locked infrastructure, so you can start at least at bare minimum keep the registers.
Keep it going.
Ringing.
Right.
And while the insurance company's doing their thing, and then eventually they release the infrastructure, and then we merge those infrastructures back. They're fully sanitized. The issues are resolved, and you can continue business as normal.
So your biggest thing that you're really trying to do is to make sure that the business keeps up and running. Right.
There's nothing worse than having a business that isn't making money. Right. So that's one of the main things we prevent.
That's incredible. And so what got you into this space, Brian? I mean, how did you get from military professor into cybersecurity? How does somebody get into this?
Is there a time limit on this thing?
Give me the short bio, man.
Oh Lord.
You'll have to come out with a book here pretty soon.
Well, it's interesting. So, like I said, my dad was a tech guy. My dad was an electrical engineer while we were growing up on the farm. And he passed away in 2003 unexpectedly, and I was really lost. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I wanted to do something in tech. Because he was in tech, right? And I was a lost soul. So I joined the military. Did nothing intellectual. I just blew shit up for fun.
It's for our country.
Yeah, it's for our country, for Uncle Sam Bua. And and during there, I got a bachelor's degree in information systems management.
Got you.
Got out of the military, but when I was in service and active duty, I was I started the whole idea of e-cycling before e-cycling was a thing. So I was calling a lot of businesses looking for used hardware, and then buying it for the penny and selling it for $1 on like eBay and some of
that's business sense, man. Right away.
It was. Here I am, a little private E2, making like 23 grand a year.
Yeah.
And making 3 times that much reselling stuff.
Crazy.
On Uncle Sam's dime. Thank you, Uncle Sam. So I did that, and it kind of progressed that, and then eventually I shut that business down. Yeah. And when I got out of the military, I worked for a couple other companies. Worked for another company that's very similar to what mine does. I actually wrote the business plan. I saw where the industry was going. This is 2014 time frame.
Okay.
And I saw there was a kind of a shift happening in the industry where the cybersecurity stuff was just starting to really kind of pick up steam. Ransomwares were starting to happen, and the old model was you're the engineer and you're the client. The client tells me what they want, and I implement that. Yeah. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. Because I'm the expert and I'm paying attention to what's going on in the industry. So I want to be the one that's looking at the technologies, looking at how your business operates and the threat vectors that are associated with your business, because those are different per business. Yeah. So I looked up, I started researching and building this tech stack that I wanted to be able to offer out to clients. I realized you can make more money on it. I thought it was a much better form of protection for our clients, and it was more strategic in how you implement it for that individual client and the threat vectors that they had. Yeah. Wrote that business plan, presented to the company I was working at. They told me go to hell.
So you've been trying to like work with your current, where you were at.
Listen to me, I don't understand why. So I end up. I kept on them, and eventually the HR told me I need to stop annoying people or they're going to let me go. So they fired me. And then I decided to take that same business plan, and I started Valor Technologies like a year later.
It's amazing.
We've just been growing nonstop. And what I like the whole the thumb in the eye was most of those people for that company now work for me, and they're out.
Of course they do, because that's the way it works.
I tried to help. But
it's kind of like the idea is until it works, right?
You're just the engineer, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Incredible. Well, I do have a friend that's looking for a job in cybersecurity, so I may just have to throw that in there real quick. I gotta look out for him.
Give me his name and number.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
By the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, he would love that, probably.
Military efficiency.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. So our whole thing is that we amplify diverse voices with this podcast, and so I always like to ask people, like, how do you feel like as a community that we all can kind of rise and do better in Milwaukee, but I mean for wherever you're from, you're from.
Very simple, and I'll talk about things that are taboo because I am very open and transparent about how I think and everything else. Yeah. And the problem that I see is that no one seeks to understand. Everyone seeks to change.
Oh man, speaking my language.
And I hate that. One of the best things that ever happened to me, going a farm boy from the Midwest, having absolutely very minimal exposure to culture and other cultures. Yeah. Even different ethnicities. I mean, I went to a very rural school. We had like 2 people that were not white. And we're all farm boys. Like, it's very, very isolating, right? Yeah. The biggest change that happened was when I went into the military. Yeah. And now I am in a unit with people from the Bronx, people from Kentucky, people from all over the world. Right. And it really opened my eyes to how different cultures think, and as my experience there grew over the years, and I see media being such an influencing thing and social media being such an influencing thing. The number one thing that people do is people don't stop to just try to understand the other person's view.
Yeah.
Everyone just wants to be insulted. Everyone feels like they have to be insulted.
Yeah.
They feel like they have to change the other person's opinion if it's different than theirs.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a narrow-minded approach to things. And I think the world would be great if we could just stop, accept other views, and listen.
Yeah.
Don't try change it. Just listen.
Yeah.
I think that would make the world a greater place.
I totally agree. So I go around the country speaking, and the biggest thing I say is seek to understand, not to be understood.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And also, so people are so quick to find their position on something when it's like you're making a position on like little to no knowledge on whatever your position is. So
and
just
you have such a polarized view. Like you either have to be to the left or you have to be to the right.
It's like extremes.
It's always extremes. It's look, just there's nothing wrong with being in the middle or having a mix of different views.
Of course.
And I think media is a big perpetuator of that, and I wish that would change.
Yeah. And a lot of times when people can find some common ground, then you can actually continue the conversation, right?
On that, right? And
it seems to be so simple, but I guess so difficult at the same time.
People need to come out of their basements.
Get out of your basements.
Your basement. Go live a life a little bit.
Go live a life. Well, cool, man. I love having you on. Where can people find you at?
So you can go to my website at valortech.io. Or you could go to my personal website at briansevner.me. That is a Brian with a Y.
Dope, man. Thank you for being on here, man. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Take care.
So I hope you're loving that content. So many amazing people here at Summerfest Tech, and we got a super surprise special guest. Allie, how did you get here?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I just show up places.
You show up places? You just... So you've been busy here.
Yeah.
At the conference.
Talking to a lot of people.
Yep.
Doing some shopping.
So if people know that when you go to conferences, like you get as much stuff as possible, and Allie and Christina have definitely been shopping this entire time.
We really have. We've gotten some really great scores. I got a fidget spinner. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I've also connected with a lot of really great people here today, too.
So you can shop and connect with people.
Yeah.
And the best part about this shopping, it's free.
It's free. I never have to buy another pair of socks.
Yes. Unlimited budget. All you got to do is go to the table and talk. That's it. I did see a Batman mask, which was just absolutely epic.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's the
actually
booth
over there. Should go check it
out.
out.
They do 3D printing, and so it was awesome. So I always tell everybody that the way on how to connect with people is to get free stuff. No, I mean, you got it. This is a great event, Summerfest Tech. So what's been your number one? This is your first time here, right?
Yeah, it is.
So what's your number one takeaway so far, just with meeting people?
I think that just a lot of people like here want to connect to or with each other. I saw that there was like a ton of interns here, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They seem to love our booth.
I mean, our booth is pretty slam. I ain't gonna lie. It's fire.
Another really cool thing that, like, just for me working at Foureva Media, being the graphic designer, just how many people that have like pointed out that the designs are really cool makes me feel very proud of myself. So.
Well, you get to see it in like real action. Yeah.
Exactly.
And normally you just hear it from me. I get back from somewhere like, oh my God, so many people like love the logo and they love the designs, and it's not the same when you hear it from other people, which is really cool. Well, we're definitely a standout booth here, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
We're a little bit like that, a very unique booth over here with a giant lion.
Right. I think people find it really intriguing that we actually have like a live podcast.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's different.
It definitely grabs people's attention.
Yeah. So we're about to get into another story. well, not another story. We're gonna get to another. We get into another guest here on the podcast. So here it is. We got Derek in the building. First of all, let everybody know who you are and what company you're with and what you got going on in your life.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Derek Townsend. I'm with Cheerpoint. We're one of the sponsors here today, and we're excited to be here. Lately, I've worked for this place a little over a year. It's been great. I bought a new house. It's nice. And I'm glad to be out here. I've never been up here in Wisconsin before, so it's first for me.
Nice. So you just bought a house and you never been in Wisconsin before? Like, what happened? What's going on?
Two separate things, right? So I'm from Houston.
Okay, Houston. Yeah, I love Houston.
First time up here. So.
Okay, cool. I'm like, wow, you just got it like that?
That happens, right?
What's going on here? Well, cool. And tell us, everybody, a little bit about what your company does and kind of what sets you apart.
Certainly. So Cheerpoint is a data center provider, but beyond that, we also help people with their public cloud environments. And that's really what we're kind of here to pitch is, we want people to have plans for how they're going to recover their environment in the event of a disaster.
Gotcha.
In the event that they have like ransomware attacks or something of those stuff along those lines. So we want to help people out in those ways. So that's one of the things that we were talking about today.
I used to work in IT. For 8 years of my life,
nice.
Worked my way up to an IT manager. So one question I have for you is that I feel like data security, cybersecurity, it's always an afterthought.
Yeah.
You only really care about it when it happens to you. It's like insurance. Almost. So like, what would be a good first step, to be able to get, protected and make sure that you're, aware of, hey, these attacks could happen. Because a lot of times people go very deep into it and they build up a huge protection around their company and let's say nothing happens. But how do you start? So, and that's a good question because a lot of people don't even know where to start. But typically it starts with something like an assessment. Like, what is my actual security posture? What do I look like today? And then what is my goal to look like in the future? And I think that's true with anything, but particularly with security, it's the same way. Like, you need to know where you're at to know where you're going. Right.
And with that particular approach in mind, we try to help people determine where their holes are through gap analysis and that sort of thing. If they're like HIPAA compliant or financial organizations where they need some type of extra level of security, we work with them also in that way. So
and how did you get into this? Like, did you just grow up saying I want to be in tech, I want to be in security, I want to be in working with cloud and data centers? And
yeah. So I've been doing this a little over 20 years, and I got into programming initially. And then I'm a cloud architect. So, it's kind of evolved over time with technology itself. Okay. And
have you always really been like, what was your introduction to tech? Like, did you grow up with your family already being in that field?
No. So whenever I was in high school, I actually joined a labor union. My 18th, whenever I was 18, and I became a mechanical engineering apprentice and learned how to program manufacturing equipment.
Okay. And you actually just really enjoyed it and like that. Cool. Is there anything that you tried that you were like, this isn't for me? Like what?
I'm not like a Java developer or like .NET, like those types of languages. Those aren't really my kinds of languages. I'm more on the back end. So
Gotcha. So did you try like actually developing websites and doing that stuff before? And you're like, this isn't.
It's cool to learn, right? Like, you need to know how that stuff's done. But then at the same time, it's like there's other things that I find enjoyable. Yeah. Like you think about nowadays AI, like automation inside of infrastructure and all of these hyperscalers, like all of that stuff is great. Yeah. Oh my God, it's for sure. I mean, and you kind of have to know no matter what field you're in right now. I mean, it's just growing. So just in the last, closing question, for Milwaukee, and I know you're new here from Houston, what are some things that you maybe have seen that Milwaukee needs to do more of that you've seen that you've been here? I mean, you're in the tech space now. Is your company's nationwide? Yeah. Or is it okay? Here, yeah. Okay, but it's also here. So what does Milwaukee need to do more to, get more tech talent in here or advance the, tech culture and the economy here? So I'm originally from Austin, and they have a pretty high-tech sort of focus economy. I would say, just based on my experience, that attracting specific sectors, specifically like application development, and maybe even some consulting services, like I think that that's a key sort of attraction, because once they come in, then you get other industries also moving in that are sort of supporting them or also working with them.
Okay.
It's like a net effect.
Yeah, gotcha. And our podcast is always about helping, figure out for businesses and communities from diverse backgrounds be able to, get more opportunities. How do you see that? Like what has worked maybe in Houston or in Austin that you've seen that might need to be applied here in Milwaukee?
So just even also based on my experience, apprenticeships, like you don't really hear about that often, but like bringing somebody in and taking them under your wing and working through whatever project or other things you're working on, I think that that's very beneficial for young people and even people that are switching careers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, mentorship, coaching, just bringing somebody else up, because it's funny because people oftentimes forget how they got to where they're at today. It probably took somebody to say, hey, let's take a bet on Derek and let's put him in this role or this position or, to grow the company. And so it's very important to lift up the next person, there. So that's awesome, man. Where can people find you? How can they get connected?
So I am on LinkedIn. You can find me under Derek Townsend with Cheerpoint. That's really it. So please reach out to me, and I can share my email later. If
he doesn't want any late night phone calls, people. He said LinkedIn is it. It's it. Well, thank you so much for being on, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. We are live at Summerfest Tech, and we got Casey stopping by. So first of all, let people know who you are and what you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Casey Camilleri, CEO and founder of Sprocket Security. Sprocket Security does penetration testing. We have a security platform that our businesses can join and basically understand how real-world hackers can actually break into the companies, but then take it the next step further.
Okay.
How they can fix those, so prevent the real-world attackers and real-world hackers from breaking in.
Yeah. What are they after? What are these hackers after these days?
Anything that can make them money. Data is king. Data is king. You think of something like healthcare, right?
Yeah.
The data, credit cards. If you're taking credit cards or stealing those things. But basically intellectual property too, right? Wouldn't that be cool if I could get the fighter jet plans on how to build a fighter jet, right?
Right. That's crazy. So I just fun fact, I worked 8 years in IT. So working for a financial company, and I worked my way up to a IT manager. No longer doing that, obviously, right now. But I have a lot of experience just within IT, and so that financial company used to get attacks, like 1,000 a day or something like that, maybe thousands of attacks a day. So what makes you guys different from other competitors that you guys are in the market with?
Yeah, absolutely, great question, because we're very different in the way that we approach this. Traditionally, a penetration test is what they call it, right? Where you kind of simulate the hacker essentially break in. That's traditionally done in a point in time where you come in for 2 weeks, you try to break into their company, and then you leave.
Yeah.
We're different in the fact that we do it continuously. We don't stop. Just like the bad guys, they don't stop. So we don't stop.
Yeah.
And there's every day there's new vulnerabilities, new exploits that come out that affect different technologies.
Yeah.
And we're positioned to know what technologies each company uses, and it's just an open door policy. We'll just test it right away.
Yeah.
So that way they're not waiting until next year's pen test to figure out, hey, am I vulnerable? Can a hacker break in?
Yeah.
No, they'll find out in near real time.
Yeah, and how is AI, I just feel like hackers would be like, oh man, AI, I'm going to use this to hack 30 bajillion times faster. How do you keep up with that?
Yeah, it's funny because AI is definitely a huge buzz right now.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's got an AI play or machine learning, and we definitely have areas where we put that into play as well.
Yeah.
So, basically lessen the burden of humans, and use more of the data-driven aspects behind it. A lot of automation comes into play as well.
Okay.
Too. So yeah.
Okay.
We as humans, we want to do as least amount of work as possible.
Of course.
But there'll always be a little bit of
Yeah. So you're already utilizing a lot of some of those technologies already.
Certain areas, yeah.
Because I always get nervous when like some of these newer things kind of bubble up with AI, because the military has probably already been using it to some degree, because they're usually the first adopters of anything of new technology, and or the bad guys.
Yeah.
The people that are they're light years ahead, they're already using a ton of technology. So I'm always like, oh man, I mean, I feel for security, anything security. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more to be concerned with in that space. So that's incredible. So what made you want to come to Summerfest Tech? Why are you guys involved? Like, what's the energy here? Just give that to me.
I like music, and Summerfest is awesome, right? So Summerfest Tech, I work in tech, right? So that's double awesome. A lot of our, we're based out of Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's a short drive for us to meet a lot of businesses. A lot of familiar faces are here. A lot of great people, good content, and awesome tech. One of our penetration testers, Nicholas Anastasi, just did a talk basically on all the tools that hackers use, the old tools and the new school tools, all sorts of stuff, and that was well received.
That's awesome. And how did you get into this? Like, becoming the CEO, I mean, like, was this your family? Was this just in the circles that you were in that people just knew about tech? Like, how did you get into this space?
Great question. If you ask my brother, he'd probably tell you the same story. I took apart every single toy that he had, and figured out how it worked.
Really?
So it was that mindset, right?
So you've always been like a tinkerer, I got to figure it out.
Yes, I got to figure out how this thing works, how it works, and then being a hacker is just taking it a step further. How can I use it? How can I use it in a different way that wasn't intended?
Okay.
And that segued into tech, right? I didn't want to just put servers and applications together. I wanted to take it to the next step and be like, all right, how can I abuse the misconfigurations? How can I break in? How can I find the flaws? And so went to school actually for cybersecurity, and then worked for various companies, got a lot of experience, and then started building tools and softwares to help penetration testers, and then figured the way that we're doing this is all wrong. This point in time approach is wrong. So started Sprocket.
That's crazy. And so before school, who gave you that pathway of like, this is something you could do though? So you came from the tinker, I got to figure this out, problem solve, critical thinking, but then like, who told you that this was a path for you to go down?
Well, I had two interests, and you'll find this funny, for career paths. I was either going to go and be a welder, or I was going to work in IT.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking high school.
Kind of makes sense though.
Yeah, I like to
You're putting the stuff together,
And so it was going to be one of those two, and I thought, you know what, tech is going to be around for a while, right? It just interests me more. It came to me a little bit more naturally. And I made a decision in high school to take some college courses while I was still in high school.
Interesting.
In IT, and then I realized, this is for me.
Yeah.
And just taking it a step further, being like, all right, how can I break all the things in IT? How can I use it as a hacker? And then tried a little bit of that and said, yep, this is it.
Yeah, that's incredible. So our whole mission is to amplify diverse voices is what we do. Of course, we do it in epic fashion with awesome podcasts, epic events, Pfizer Forum. I mean, we're doing incredible stuff. How do you feel like, within the community, that we can shed more light onto Milwaukee? How do we promote positive culture within the community? And then maybe what are things that you guys are doing as a company to kind of get embedded within the community? I know you're here, which is awesome, but what other things can we do to help support that positivity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, number one, be kind to each other. Start with that. But a couple things that we're doing in the community to bring people together. In Madison, Wisconsin, we have MadSec, which is an information security group. Local community there. MilSec for Milwaukee specifically, they both ran the same. We bring great people together, great tech, have some drinks, some cocktails, have a presentation, learn something new. A lot of great people attend that, and so we're building that community up, and that's a very diverse community. Hackers are there, and the defenders are there.
Wow.
You got some of the directors of companies there. And it's a good time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Casey, for hopping on this podcast. Where can people find you at?
www.sprocketsecurity.com. I'm also on Twitter at KC Camilleri, which is extremely hard to spell. So best find me on the website, Sprocket Security.
Yeah, that's awesome. And are you hiring right now? Because we can let people know. Okay, always hiring. Hit up Casey. Hit him up. Definitely take advantage of the opportunities. All right, thank you, man.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
What's going on? It's day 2 at Summerfest Tech. I am actually fresh off the stage, and we had an amazing panel around entertainment and tech and careers, and how people can learn about the entertainment industry, what job opportunities are actually available, how did you get into those job opportunities, and real stories of people that are in those positions right now. And really just getting that insider knowledge, so we can, change our circle. So what did you think? You saw it from the outside looking in. What do you think about that panel?
It was cool. I mean, I love the esports, obviously.
Yeah. I didn't mention the panelists. Yeah, we had amazing panelists.
Yeah, you have to mention it. But yeah, I mean, it was a unique perspective from all I guess sides of media. You get the kind of like the music side, production side, and obviously the now huge like gaming side of it. So
yeah,
I thought it was really interesting. I liked the panelists and how unique the discussions were around it.
Yeah, so somebody from Magic Productions, or somebody from Bucks Gaming, and then there was somebody from the music industry, but also Associated Bank. So like all these different areas of people that are normally not on the same panel together, and they all brought them together. So it was super cool. So I got fresh off that. Of course, my panel was popping. It was absolutely incredible.
Brought the energy.
Yeah, brought the energy. And then there's a lot of noise. So if you hear a lot of noise, in the background, this is it's called we're moving, we're shaking, we're hustling, we're connecting, we're collaborating, because that's what's happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that are around right now. And how's the conversations been for that day 1 of the booth?
Day 1 yesterday was good. Like we had a lot of people coming by. We were able to talk about the Lead the Movement business conference, which was awesome.
Lead the Movement, September 29th. Just a quick plug.
Yep. Got to obviously talk about the book. Most people were coming here just to get it seemed like just to get a glimpse of you.
Hopefully it's a good sign.
Yeah. No, a good wise.
Glimpse?
Yeah.
Don't go in any closets.
Yeah, no.
It's scary stuff.
Who's over there? You see him?
No. I don't want people to stare too long, because they find some indiscrepancies.
Yeah. Definitely. But no, it was good. We talked with a lot of people. Heard some awesome stories. We were able to podcast a little bit, which was cool.
Yeah.
You were able to podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
but seeing it though, being there was cool.
So today we're gonna have more guests on. We're gonna have more interesting conversations. You'll be able to just get a snapshot of what's actually happening at Summerfest Tech. And so if you're interested in tech or a career in tech, this is the episode to listen to and keep listening to. So definitely tap in, and we're just gonna get started on our next guest.
What's going on? We're back again with another special guest. We got David joining the podcast. So first of all, let the people know who you are and what you got going on in your life.
Yeah, would love to. So I'm David Schmidt. I work at Layer 1 right here in Milwaukee. And we're a software consultancy. And really, our clients are manufacturers and distributors. So there are a lot of those kinds of companies here in Milwaukee, and specifically in the plumbing, HVAC, wire and cable, electrical space.
Okay.
So we enable our clients to really connect with their customers, whether it's through e-commerce, through marketing, and our clients are really big into logistics.
Yeah.
As distributors, they've got to get the right things to the right people, and we help them do that and help their customers really just build loyalty so that they're continuing to buy from them, feel good about the products and the service that they're going to get. So we have a big part in how they really go about their business strategy and executing it with technology. And a lot of times it's technology with just really good thinking behind it. And I think that's interesting here being at Summerfest Tech.
Yeah.
Technology is huge. It's very important, but we've got to have the foundational baseline of, okay, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What's the impact going to be on that person? How are they going to feel about it? And so it really goes a lot into helping the individual person at our client do their job better, make their life easier, and that just trickles or flows right down to their customer of them doing their job better. You know, their customer is the contractor.
Yeah.
So the service tech on the job site, how do we help that service tech make sure the right products are available to him or her on the job?
Yeah.
And keep that time on site low so they can do lots of jobs.
Yeah.
Be productive and
Right.
help that homeowner, help that commercial building site fix whatever's broken or install whatever needs to be there to open the building on time.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting space, a lot of awesome people that at our clients. And then at Layer 1, we've got a lot of smart people. We're growing, we're hiring folks on the software side, on the marketing side.
He's hiring.
Sales side.
He's hiring.
Yeah, for sure.
You heard it here first.
And you know, there's a lot of great talent in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
but we're also getting heavily involved in growing that talent.
Okay.
Because hey, there's folks out there that want to have a great place to work.
Yeah.
You know, want to
100%.
improve their skills, and so we're getting involved in the community more and more all the time.
That's awesome. And why Summerfest Tech? Why did you guys choose to, come out to this event, bring out your team, and just kind of, be involved with Summerfest Tech?
Yeah. You know, it's about 6 blocks away from our office.
Okay, well, that's convenient.
So that's super convenient. And we love being out in the community.
Is the after party there?
It could be. You and I can host it.
Awesome.
We always have beers in the fridge. So
Sweet.
That works out.
Sweet. More perks of the company. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. But, getting out in the community is so important. I think no matter what your job is, what your title is, I've talked to lots of different people here that have different industries, different areas of business that they're in, and they're using this just like we are. Get out in the community, meet people, cross paths with folks that you're not going to cross paths with in your own office or even in your own industry.
Right.
And just expand your mind a little bit of what's out there. Learn a few things, share a few things, and I think also getting energy and giving energy to other people, to other companies is really important and it's really healthy. So we're doing all that today and we're excited to be here.
That's amazing. And how did you get started in your how did you get started doing this? Did you just love sales? Do you just love technology? How did you get into this?
Yeah, it really comes from a place of wanting to help others.
Yeah.
I do believe that sales is about helping people.
First and foremost.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can't help everybody. You want to help everybody.
Yeah.
You've got to be selective and vice versa. Not everybody is a customer. So where I come from in my sales thinking is trying to understand what are they all about as a person and as a company, and can we help them?
Gotcha.
And just share some ideas of how we might help them.
Yeah.
And see where that goes. And if there's some traction, well, then you've got some sales momentum getting into helping them. And if they see the way that our company can help them, then the sales part becomes easier and easier.
For sure.
Because you're solutioning, and you're solutioning based on the right things.
Yeah.
And you bring the right people from my company to get together with the people from their company.
Yeah.
And figure it out, is this going to work? Is this going to be really good for everybody? And oftentimes the answer is yes. And that turns into helping, that turns into sales, and it turns into those things I talked about earlier, helping the client, help their customers, and everybody is very positive and energized and excited about working together. And I think that's what it's all about, working together and being excited about it.
And what would you say is one of the most just challenging things it's just as far as being in the technology space? Just for our listeners, our viewers, a lot of people, they think maybe the career path is interesting. Hey, I want to get into it. Maybe what are some challenges that are actually there?
Yeah, I would say from my perspective and colleagues that I work with, the rate of change in technology is obviously very high. And
AI right now, it's
AI right now.
Got to learn that now.
is one great example for sure.
Yeah.
And, even over the last 5 and 10 years, the larger software platforms, their rate of change has increased also.
Yeah.
And what their platforms do, adjusting to consumer behavior, whether it's B2B or B2C. And how to meet those preferences and the rate of change also of how companies buy. You know, 5 or 10 years ago, you might be able to make a sale to 1 or 2 people at a company. I'm finding over the last few years, now it's 5 or 6 people.
Right.
Because of the impact that technology has across many disciplines within the company that we're selling into, there has to be buy-in. And the executives are looking for that buy-in from their team.
Yeah.
And that can be a challenge, but it also can be really empowering for that company to have that opportunity to get their people together, make a great investment decision in buying something and investing in oftentimes people along with the technology to actually get the outcomes, the results, the feelings that those companies want for their internal teams and then for their customers.
Yeah, no, that's incredible and actually great feedback. You know, and it tells people that, hey, how do you get ahead of this? You know, dive yourself into those things and start to learn and see, hey, how can you develop even from soft skills, like how to better that process.
Right.
I think that actually goes to any kind of industry.
Exactly.
You know,
you've got those soft skills. It might be business acumen. It might be great communication.
Right.
It might be the ability to ask a tough question that a client is kind of dipping their toe in a little bit, and you just kind of have to go for it sometimes and ask the tough question. Like, hey, it seems this is bothering you. Hey, it seems this is a bigger deal than you're letting on.
Right.
Tell me more about that. And just kind of pulling that out of them by showing empathy, being curious, and really seeking to understand what are they really looking to solve. It's not always just like technology.
Right.
Technology will solve it to some extent, but let's understand it deeply first. Yeah. And then the rest of it will be easier.
Yeah.
So technology is it's a great tool. It's a great
that's what I was gonna say. It's a great tool to use, but don't have it be the thing that just it's gonna fix it. You got to think about things from a holistic approach. You know,
because technology's it's developed by people and used by people.
Yeah.
Technology is what we make it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, David, for being on the podcast. Where can people find you at? How can they get connected?
Layer1media.com is our website, and of course on LinkedIn, David Schmidt. I'm the director of sales there at Layer 1, and we're right here in Milwaukee, so if you're in the neighborhood, swing by.
Sweet, man. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yep, appreciate you.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for more amazing content that we're going to be putting out. And don't forget, you can change your circle to change your life.